Good morning, everybody. My flowers are in bloom. The butterflies are out, but I have some trimming to do. The problem today is something I have never seen before in the history of my life, anyway. Every time I turn on the TV now, this is what I'm hearing. People are getting bit by rattlesnakes way more than ever before. People are getting stung by bees and bee nests, wasp nests, the species of bees, whatever they are, I don't know all of them, are making nests in people's homes. I saw a video yesterday where a couple had a nest growing in a cupboard where they keep their plastic forks. And I was thinking to myself, how did they not know that was in their house? They didn't hear the buzzing, they didn't hear the noises. That is wild. The tick explosion. Oh my goodness. Every time you turn on the TV, somebody has 50 ticks running around on them. A lady I just saw on another channel had 15 spiders crawling on her. She ended up in the hospital almost in a coma because they injected some poison in her. She almost lost a leg. And I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? And then one channel I saw for a brief second, a river of snakes, and I think this was in China, maybe? It came down in like rapid movement and attacked a village of people. And I'm like, wow. So to be quite honest about it, I don't even want to go outside. I don't want to do the flower trimming. I don't want to do the yard work. I'm kind of afraid of it. With all these things lurking, I am no stranger to bee stings. I've been stung. I've been chased by yellow jackets. I know how that feels. I've hopped fences. I've run away from them. Nothing stops them. They're like little assassins. I had a terrible, devastating brown recluse bite on my face. It ate my face away, basically, where it bit me. Snakes? Forget it. I stepped on a snake once in my yard barefoot. I didn't know what it was. I felt the sliminess under my foot, and I screamed for hours because I could feel that sensation of the slime on my foot. Oh, it's terrible. But thankfully it wasn't a poisonous snake. It was innocently sunbathing itself. I just didn't see it. This is why I don't like going outside now. And I know I can't shelter myself indoors for the rest of my life, but it seems ridiculous. Every time you turn on the news, it's a different story. All these different insect attacks, snake attacks, spider attacks, ticks, all these things. And it's like, I just want to shelter myself in my house and never leave. Lock myself in, shut the doors. But I know that's not practical. I have yard work to do. There are things we can do to try to prevent things like that happening. Number one, don't walk barefoot in your yard. That would help. Bad on me for that part. Number two, I had a snake out here last year. This year I have a different snake. But last year I had this snake. It was a garden snake. They're not poisonous and they don't usually attack people. However, I was outside early spring and I was raking up some leaves in my yard. Was it early spring? Probably not. Maybe summer. I don't know. This thing came shooting out from the leaves and then slithered as fast as it could down a hill and disappeared into the woods. They can come out of nowhere quickly. So just try to protect yourself. Know the noises. Bees, wasps, yellow jackets, they buzz. One time I was gardening and I went to pull a root from some weeds out of the garden. And my garden had like a little fence around it to prevent the animals from getting in there and eating my garden crops. And when I pulled up that root, I instantly knew what I did because I heard it. They're like a little mini volcano. They come erupting up out of the ground and they chased me. I had to jump over the fence, run up a hill, run up 2-3 flights of stairs and get in my house. But there are things you can notice and observe right before it happens. Like the snake story when I was raking, I heard it. People often talk about situational awareness when it involves other people. Safety in public, things like that. But they don't talk about safety with insects, spiders, snakes when you're out in the yard. The snake last year I heard it just before I saw it. So as I'm raking, I heard something crumple the leaves. I knew it wasn't a squirrel because I was standing right there. And then I heard the hiss. And then it took off out of the leaves. It just shot out at me. Spiders, those can be in your home. You may not even be aware of it. The one that bit my face, it happened during the night when I was sleeping. The spiders outside, they, hide everywhere. They hide in the stone walls. They hide in rock crevices. They hide in plain grass. They hide in leaves or debris. If you have any kind of pile of anything, they'll hide in there. Wear gloves when you're outside. That's another important tip, because you don't want to ever dig into a pile of something without knowing what's in there with your bare hands. So wear gloves so you don't get bit or stung. I had a relative that was actually stung by a scorpion because she was gardening in an area where there were scorpions and she didn't have gloves on. And it would have benefited her to have the gloves on in that area where she was gardening. And that's what I'm saying. Just use precaution when you're outside. Ticks are at an all-time high. They have tick repellent, like Deep Woods Off, things like that. Mosquitoes. People don't often talk about mosquitoes. There are things you can do about that as well. Make sure everything around your house is emptied. No standing water. That's a big one. Even the slightest amount of water, mosquitoes can lay their eggs. I used to have a little bird bath and it was flat. And it was outside on a back patio. And a mosquito laid its eggs in there. There seemed to be more mosquito larvae than there was actually water in the thing. So no standing water. It doesn't take much to create enough water for mosquitoes. Even a pile of leaves that dent down can hold water. So anything like that, you want to make sure to always tip over and to not let, accumulate the water. In addition, a play box outside, like a sandbox. I used to have this big giant plastic, I think it was Little Tikes turtle with a lid, and it was a sandbox. It could also be a pool for little kids. And I had sand in it, play sand. And we accidentally left the top open one year. This is going back years and years. And I went out there because it had rained and I realized the top was open, so I was going to let it dry out. There was a frog in there because it had rained, and so a little bit of water had accumulated, and there was a froggy in there jumping around, which was cute, right? And here comes a snake. The snake was under it. So anything like that, don't leave standing water anywhere on your property. It will help minimize bugs, insects, and minimize things that attract snakes like frogs. I'm no stranger to ticks. If you have deer or other animals, wild animals, you're going to have ticks. You're going to have a lot of things. Now, wild turkeys are great. They are natural predators of ticks. They eat ticks. If you hear buzzing or any type of scratching or anything like that in your walls, call an exterminator. It's worth it. You could have mice, rats, other animals that can get in your home. You could have raccoons in the attic. You could have squirrels in the attic. All of these rodent type animals will eat wires. A friend of mine, her whole house burnt down because she didn't know she had mice in the attic, and they chewed through wires and it burned her house down. So it's imperative that you call an exterminator. They're not that expensive. I had a white-faced hornet nest in a tree right in my front yard one year. I also had one on the side of my house on an air conditioning unit. So you can imagine walking down my front steps, and there on the side right there is a white-faced hornet nest, big paper nest. It was huge. I wasn't going to take care of that. The other one in the tree, I wasn't going to take care of that one either. But a fisher cat got that one. The fisher cat climbed up the tree and ate the nest from the inside out. They will eat wasps, bees, hornets. So that was great. But the side of the house one, I called an exterminator. It was less than $200. The guy came out, did his thing. They went away in the same day. There was no more danger to me. The last thing I would want is anybody coming here stung by a white-faced hornet. They're an extremely aggressive and painful sting. Aside from the creepy crawlers, then we have all the poisons and toxins out there that we could come in contact with as we're gardening, such as poison ivy, poison oak, poison sumac, and whatever else. There's all kinds. My best defense is first, know your leaves. If it comes in three, beware of thee. It's an old phrase. A farmer taught me this trick once. He said, when you get in the shower, after you're outdoors, and if you think you've been in contact with a poisonous leaf, take Dawn dish liquid and soap up really well. It can actually remove the oils from your skin. I did not know that. I did that once and I didn't break out in any rash. So I do believe it works. Now I'm going to go out and brave plant life. Thanks so much for watching today. Take care.